Hi everyone, welcome to week 9 of the 52 Weeks of Momentum Recap. I'm Tanya MFK and I am a member of the 52 Weeks of Momentum course, and I come in here every week to share the lesson, the insight, and the exercises that we do so you can grab a piece of your momentum and tag along with us. So this week's lesson we have two main things, and one is 100x thinking and the second is removing the things that don't serve us. So let's go ahead and jump into 100x thinking. It's a really quick concept, and then we can get to the meat of our lesson. So 100x thinking is ultimately when individuals who are operating in their unique abilities, meaning that they are doing the things they're good at and that fascinate them, when those people come together and collaborate, they have the potential to 100x whatever it is that they're doing. So I would think of this as two people that come together are doing way more than two people should and could be able to do. It's just that's magic that happens when you're operating at that level, that you come together and just completely blow something up in an amazing, magical way. And this idea, he said, was really shared with him, and that point was pushed home when he was having dinner with Alice Cooper, and I believe Joe Polish as well. And he asked him, who do you think are the greatest musicians and of all time? And he said, hands down, the Beatles. And he explained, the Beatles had 400 hits. While most people are lucky to have one, let alone 5, they had 400 hits. And it was really, it wasn't the first time that 4 guys had ever been in a band together, but there was something about each one working within their unique abilities and just at the highest level of what it is that they're specifically good at and what they can do, that when it came together, it just produced gold. In more ways than one, right? It was really the sum equaled more than the parts. And so that ultimately is really, that's the 100x thinking. That's the 100x concept, I should say. Concept is that, when we are combining with other people who are at that same level, who are doing, and it's not about a height, like they're so good at something, it's about where they're functioning within that. If that's what you're already good at and you're owning that and that's what you're using your time and you're focusing on, and these people come together, it's just times 100, right? Just times 100, just amazing. So if you want to learn more about that concept, I'm sure you can look into Dan Sullivan or Joe Polish, or even look and see, I'm sure Benjamin Hardy will have an article about it somewhere as well, and learn more about that. And I'm sure we'll be learning more about it in our lessons as we go along. But moving from 100x thinking, I want to jump into the removing the things that don't serve us. And I want to start with a story that he shared, which is really a story by Olympic gold medalist Ben Hunt Davis. And he was part of a team that was like an underdog UK rowing team. And basically they just hadn't been winning in the years past. And they wanted to win. They knew, we want to win, right? It's kind of the goal of being in the Olympics, want to win. And they said, okay, if we just keep doing the same thing we've been doing, we're going to get the same results. So we need to do something different. But what do we do? So as they decided what they're going to do, they used one measuring stick. They asked themselves one question, and it was, will it make the boat go faster? So any idea that came up, they said, will it make the boat go faster? So should we do 3 hours of exercise in the rowing machine? Will it make the boat go faster? And as he shared, yes, unfortunately it will, and so that's what they did. Should we go to the pub tonight? Will it make the boat go faster? Probably not, so I guess no pub tonight. Should we eat big old cheeseburgers? Will it make the boat go faster? And while assuming that extra kilos on a boat will probably not make the boat go faster, that answer, assuming, was no. So that singular question, that singular focus, that was the thing that took them to gold. Knowing exactly what they want, where to go, and what they're focused on, then they could use that one question. All we want is the boat. The boat needs to go faster. We need to be the fastest in order to pass the finish line the first, right? That's what we need to do. So ask yourself, what are the things that you're doing to make the boat go faster? And what things are you doing to hold that boat back? And how are you using your environment? And where are you connecting? And are you creating the connections you want? Are you surrounding yourself with those who push you and inspire you? And as you work and invest in yourself, use your journal to visualize and like to visualize your goals and operate intentionally to create the life you want. Because that's really what they were doing. You know, they were clear and intentional about what they wanted, and they were able to visualize and see that, and everything else was measured against that. So once you know what you want, once you have clear goals, it's really easy to identify the things that aren't serving you to meet that goal. And that's why 9 weeks ago in this group, if you've been following along, we were asked to write very clear, concise, specific, defined goals. Because once you know that, once you have that vision, it's easy to see what things are going against it. Take it something as simple as if you've decided you want to lose, 50 pounds by a certain amount of time, then hanging out in the candy shop is not going to serve your goal. It's not going to be the best place for you, right? Something as simple as that. So the other thing to keep in mind is as we grow and as we learn and all these things that we're learning in this course, we're going to change. And when we change, our goals will change. I have changed my goals in the last 9 weeks, probably more than 9 times, probably 15 times. But as new things keep opening up and I'm learning and developing, it's like, oh, you know what? Maybe that's not exactly what I need, and I can shift it over here, and this is a better way to do it. And those goals are changing, and that's good. That's better than good. It's really great, and we should always be checking in and making sure that the things we've set for ourselves still fit our life vision. So, I'm always adding things and taking things away. So as you're speaking about removing things, as we base our decisions and goals, we're really asking, does this move me forward to my values, my ambitions, and my goals? And we need to be really, really honest with ourselves. And we have to say, what is the future that I want? And who are the people that should be in that? And there's a great quote that Benjamin Hardy shared, and says, it's better to surround yourself with people that remind you of your future than those that remind you of your past. And when we start operating at a level that's consistent with our values and our goals, it's really inevitable that relationships are going to change and potentially even fall away. And it doesn't mean that you can't serve or be kind or love these people, but the truth is that we are the sum of the 5 people we surround ourselves with. And that's financially, biologically, mentally, spiritually, all of those things. And so if nothing else, start at the level of being aware of the impact, the influence, the environmental roadblocks that people can also provide as you go through focusing on your goals. And I know that's a really hard place for people. When we get to like physical things or maybe getting rid of like trash in our house, that's, a lot kind of easier and clearer. And the people things is scary, hard, difficult, all of those things. So I would say, if nothing else, start at least at looking of what that impact is, what that environment that's being provided, what roadblocks are being brought by those people, and start just there. Just start at the awareness alone. And I think once you start there, the next steps of whatever you need to do, whether it's removing or shifting or changing those relationships, I think the next steps will start to come. But you just got to start at the identification. So the 2 things that we were challenged with in looking at this and going over these concepts was to literally remove everything from your environment that doesn't ring true or doesn't resonate. So this is definitely, again, all things. The easiest way to look at this is also with physical items, cleaning up, tidying up, especially coming from the book, The Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up, I believe is what it's called. And there's an exercise in there, they say just, grab something, hold it up, and if you're not just immediately filled with joy and love for this thing, you should get rid of it. It's time to just let it go. It's not serving you. If you don't absolutely love it, it's time to get rid of it. And it's not about a value thing. It's not about how much it's worth or what it's doing. It's really about your connection to it. And if it's not right there, it's time to let it go. So the next one is to remove the commitments that you made that aren't true commitments. And the example that he gave was like TV shows or something like that. It's a real easy one. I think that if we're like, oh, I have to watch this, I have to be there. But do you really? And I also think a lot of times about, I used to overcommit to doing things, going places, helping people with events or whatnot, and doing it out of obligation. And they say if your heart's not 100% in it, then you should remove yourself from it. And I think that's another part, is that it's not a true commitment. It's not something that you really want to be in and be part of. And I think there's a lot of places that we aren't really committed, and it's time to really remove those things and let them go. And so that's really it. It's time to step up to the next level. I think that's really what this lesson is about, think about what you're going to remove and how you're going to set up your environment to be congruent with your goals and your values, and what goals are you actually pursuing? And you give yourself time and permission to really focus and look at that. So that's really a big problem. Most times it's not that we don't have them, we just never really give ourselves time to be clear on what they really are. Once we do that, the steps will start to unfold, right? And are you going to make consistent choices to make the boat go faster? So that's really it. That's kind of the lesson in a nutshell. And I hope you found these ideas, and thoughts helpful. I would love to hear your feedback, comments, thoughts, ideas, something you totally agree with, disagree with, maybe better ideas that you have, whatever it is. Love to hear it. Let's keep that conversation going. And you can always learn more by checking out the Benjamin Hardy website, and also his book, Willpower Doesn't Work, just came out. So go check that out. It's on Amazon, and really all of these concepts that we're learning in this course, and you can definitely grab a hold of yourselves in that book as well. And of course, you can always come here every week and learn the lessons and get some more insight on what we're going through in this course. And just click that subscribe button and you'll get notified when our next lesson comes up. And you can also check the playlist and see all the past lessons that we've done. So thank you so much for joining. Again, I'm Tanya MFK, and thanks for spending this time with me as we can learn and grow together. Have a great week. Bye.